I'm going to start by answering your question by telling you what is not reliable. Most of what you see online, most of what you see on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube about watching how people react in their face, what's known as micro expressions, most of that is absolute hogwash, just totally not realistic, not applicable to the everyday world. And here's why. It's not because those people are phonies or liars. Many of them are legitimately trained interrogators and special operators. Like, they are correct that micro expressions are a tool for lie deception or lie detection.
Okay.
What they are leaving out, though, is that you can only use those expressions if you are in a what's known as a constrained or confined environment. When you control the environment and the asset or the target sitting across from you is a captive audience, when you control their environment, that's the only time you can rely on micro expressions.
Got it.
When they can just walk away, when you're talking to somebody on the street or in the office or at the water cooler or at the coffee shop, if they have freedom of movement, all that micro expression stuff goes out the window because they don't feel under imminent threat. You have to put somebody in a confined environment where they feel the pressure of an imminent threat in order for their body to work against them like that.
And so that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
Got
So
it.
instead, what the agency teaches us to do in the field, because CIA operates outside of interrogation rooms, we operate on the street, we operate in the trenches, in the caves with terrorists. We need to deal with people on their home turf, which is really much more akin to everyday life.
Okay.
So what you're looking for lie detection or deception in everyday life is you're looking for what's known as a baseline and then a deviation from that baseline. So let me give you an example, right? You know your dentist. You see your dentist probably every 6 months or so. And you've gotten a cadence over the last 2 or 3 cleanings for what their mood generally looks like. You already know, you'd be able to tell if you sat down in the chair, your dentist came in and they were in a bad mood. Because it's a deviation from their baseline.
Okay.
You can apply the same thing to people who are trying to buy from you, people who are trying to sell to you, people who are trying to, gain equity in your business, or people who are trying to borrow or lend from you. You need to measure them over time to see what is baseline behavior. They normally twitch. They're normally late. They normally talk fast. They're normally nervous. They're normally quiet. Whatever normal baseline is, you'll see that over time. Even if it's just over 60 minutes or so, because you do need an extended period of time to get a baseline. 10 minutes, not enough time to get a baseline. Somebody can fake it for 10 minutes. It's hard for somebody to fake it for 60 minutes. That takes a lot of energy. So once you have a baseline, now you're looking for deviations from that baseline.
Okay.
So when you're talking to somebody, when you're buying a car and you're negotiating a price, and they've been smooth talking the whole time, and then you throw at them that you want 15% off the MSRP, and then they're like, the smooth talking ends, and they struggle to respond, and then they respond with something like, I don't think we can make that work. That's just too much. That's a lie, because it was a deviation from baseline. If right away they would have been like, ooh, I understand that 15% off is something you're looking for, but that is outside of the norm for our dealership. Chances are that's the truth, because it was very normal. It was within baseline. But when you see people deviate from baseline, that's the best way to tell whether or not they're lying to you in a moment.
Or the reverse, right? If there's somebody who struggles to answer questions, all of a sudden you ask something, they pop right out. That's a deviation from their normal processing pattern. They're probably lying because they were ready for the objection to, okay, I got you.
So fresh, so new.